In a world where everyone is encouraged to share everything, there's a quiet strength in choosing what not to reveal. You've probably felt it before, that strange sense of emptiness after oversharing, or the subtle regret that follows when something deeply personal is exposed too soon or to the wrong person. It's not weakness to keep things to yourself. It's wisdom, it's protection, it's power. There's a reason the Stoics, from Marcus Aurelius to Epictetus, spoke often about silence, self-restraint, and inner stillness, not because they feared connection, but because they understood that peace is fragile when placed in the wrong hands. They believed in acting, not announcing. In holding fast to the things that matter most, goals, emotions, values, until the moment is right, or sometimes forever. This video is not about hiding, it's about honoring. It's about choosing to protect the parts of your life that are still growing, because not everything sacred is meant to be shared. Maybe you've been told that vulnerability is always strength. And yes, there's courage in opening up, but only when the space is safe, when the listener is worthy, when you are ready. The Stoics didn't advocate for building walls. They spoke of building foundations, solid, unshakable, grounded in clarity and inner discipline. As you watch this video, I invite you to look inward, not just for answers, but for understanding. Not everything you carry needs to be seen to be real. Some things are more powerful when kept close, where they can take root, deepen, and grow strong in silence. So, if you've ever felt drained by oversharing, if you've ever questioned whether certain parts of you deserve more protection than exposure, you're not alone. And you're not wrong to want peace over performance. This is for you, the part of you that is learning to speak less and live more. Chapter 1. Don't reveal your deepest wounds. Some wounds are not meant for the world to see, not because they aren't real or valid, but because they're still healing. And healing takes quiet, it takes time, it takes trust, not just in others, but in yourself. You've been through things, moments that cracked something open inside you, moments that reshaped the way you see yourself and the world. Maybe you carry those memories like shadows, soft but heavy, and maybe, in the past, you've tried to share them, to lighten the load, to feel seen, and sometimes it helped, but other times it left you feeling more alone than before. More exposed than understood. That feeling, that's your soul telling you it needs safer ground. It's not telling you to shut down. It's asking you to protect what's still tender. The Stoics understood this deeply. They taught that your pain is not your identity. It's your teacher, but not every lesson needs an audience. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Look well into thyself. There is a source of strength which will always spring up if thou wilt always look." He wasn't talking about pretending you're fine. He was talking about finding the strength that lives underneath the wound, the part of you that doesn't need validation to be real. When you speak your pain too soon to someone who hasn't earned the right to hold it, you risk turning your healing into entertainment, and you deserve better than that. You deserve space where your emotions aren't questioned, where your story isn't picked apart, where your silence isn't mistaken for weakness but honored as strength. You don't need to bleed in public to prove you've survived. Your journey is yours. Your scars don't need explaining. And your deepest wounds? They belong to the part of you that's still learning how to stand tall after the fall. Let that part be held in stillness. Let it breathe without the pressure of having to inspire or impress. There's a quiet power in choosing who gets to see your softness, a deep kind of confidence in knowing that your story doesn't lose its truth just because it's not shared. What matters most isn't who hears your pain, it's how you carry it, how you keep moving, how you choose to live from it, not in it. So when you feel the urge to open up, pause. Ask yourself, is this for my healing or my hoping? Am I looking to be understood or just to be noticed? The difference is subtle, but it matters because healing, real healing, doesn't need an audience. It needs presence, it needs intention, and it needs you, the real you, not performing pain, but holding it with grace. You are not broken. You are becoming, and becoming takes space. Becoming takes silence. Becoming takes discernment, knowing who can hold your story with the care it deserves and who cannot. There's a kind of freedom that comes when you stop needing to explain your suffering to be seen. A kind of peace that rises when you choose to guard your pain, not out of fear, but out of respect for yourself, for your process, and for the person you're still becoming. Let this be your reminder. You don't have to share everything to be whole. You don't have to be transparent to be real. And you don't have to be loud to be strong. Your deepest wounds are not weaknesses, they're doorways. Quiet teachers, seeds of wisdom waiting to bloom, in silence, in stillness, in your own sacred time. And when you're ready, if you're ever ready, you'll know who's safe enough to listen. Until then, it's okay to keep them close. Chapter 2. Keep your future moves to yourself. There's a sacredness in your becoming, and not everyone is meant to witness it while it's still unfolding. You're building something, a vision, a change, a quiet transformation. It may not look like much to others right now, but you feel it. Deep down, you know where you're headed, even if you haven't figured out all the steps yet. That knowing, that subtle inner shift, doesn't need an audience. It needs protection. When you speak too soon about your plans, you open a door. Not just for conversation, but for opinions, doubts, projections. People will ask you questions you're not ready to answer. They'll plant seeds of uncertainty. Not because they mean to, but because they can't see what you see. They haven't felt what you've felt, and they're not carrying the same quiet fire that you are. The Stoics warned against putting too much stock in other people's approval. Epictetus said it simply, if you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. You don't owe anyone an explanation for your process. You don't have to make sense right now. What matters is that you stay focused on the work, not on narrating it. When you keep your future moves to yourself, something powerful happens. You reclaim your energy. You give yourself room to grow without pressure. You stay rooted in intention, not performance. You stop leaking power into conversations that don't move you forward. And in that silence, your focus sharpens, your conviction deepens. Because here's the truth. Talking about the dream can feel like progress. But it's not really. It gives you a quick sense of validation, but it doesn't build the foundation. Only quiet, consistent action does that. And sometimes the loudest part of growth is silence. It's waking up early to write the plan that no one sees. It's making the hard decision without telling anyone why. It's trusting your intuition, even when it doesn't look logical from the outside. That kind of discipline doesn't crave applause. It craves depth, integrity, alignment. You don't need the world to understand what you're building. You just need to build it. Let the results speak. Let your actions tell the story. Let your future reveal itself when it's ready, not when it's asked for. You don't have to prove that you're working. You don't have to justify your pace. Some of your most important steps will happen in silence, in solitude, in moments no one will ever see. And that's exactly how it should be. This season of your life is not for performance, it's for preparation. So protect the seed before it breaks through the soil. Guard your next move like something sacred, because it is. Not out of fear, but out of reverence. Not to hide, but to honor what's unfolding. You are not behind. You are not invisible. You are simply choosing to grow without distraction. So when the urge comes to tell someone your next big idea, pause. Ask yourself, will sharing this help it grow, or will it steal its strength? Your answer will tell you everything. Because the most powerful transformations don't need to be announced. They just need to be lived. Quietly. Honestly, fully. Your next move doesn't need to be known. It needs to be made. Chapter 3. Protect the depth of your feelings. Your feelings are not a weakness. They're a form of wisdom. They tell you what matters. They remind you what hurts. They show you who you truly are beneath the surface of appearances and expectations. But the depth of what you feel isn't meant for everyone. Not everyone is capable of holding it. Not everyone deserves to. There's a part of you that feels deeply, perhaps more than you've ever said out loud. You love with intention. You hurt in silence. You notice the small things, the tone in someone's voice, the pause between their words. That sensitivity isn't something to fix. It's something to honor. But even the most beautiful feelings need boundaries. When you open your heart to the wrong person, when you explain your emotions to someone who only hears what they want to, you begin to doubt yourself. You start to shrink, and what once felt true starts to feel foolish. That's why protecting the depth of your feelings is not about hiding who you are. It's about choosing who gets access to your emotional world, the part of you that lives beneath the words, the part that remembers everything. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts, and your thoughts are shaped by how you carry your emotions, and how others treat them when you share them. Be mindful, because the wrong listener can make your truth feel like a burden. And your softness deserves better than that. You don't have to explain everything you feel. You can hold something without justifying it. You can be moved by a memory, a song, a silence, and not owe anyone a reason. The modern world teaches you to translate your emotions into content, into captions, into conversations. But not everything real needs to be revealed. Some of your most meaningful feelings aren't meant to be said out loud. They're meant to be lived, to be felt fully in the privacy of your own presence, to be understood without being explained. Emotional discipline isn't coldness, it's care. When you choose to pause before reacting, when you take a breath instead of bursting out, when you give your feelings space to settle instead of throwing them into the world half-formed, that's strength, that's self-respect. Epictetus taught that while we may not control what happens, we can control how we respond. And part of that response is knowing when to speak and when to stay silent, when to share what's inside you and when to hold it like something sacred. You deserve to feel deeply without being questioned. You deserve to keep parts of yourself untouched by others' projections. Because when you give too much of your emotional world away, you begin to lose the sense of where you end and others begin. You confuse your truth with their interpretation, so give yourself permission to keep some feelings private, to carry your joy without having to perform it, to grieve without narrating it, to feel something fully without needing a witness. There's a quiet kind of freedom in emotional privacy. It lets you stay grounded in your truth. It protects your peace, and it reminds you that the most powerful emotions aren't the loudest. They're the ones that change you quietly from the inside out. So when you feel something rise within you, a tenderness, a fear, a hope, take a moment, let it sit, let it breathe. Ask yourself, does this feeling need to be shared or simply honored? You'll know the answer, because not every feeling needs an echo. Some are meant to be felt in full silence. And in that silence, you will find yourself more whole, more present, more true. You don't have to reveal the depth of your feelings to prove they're real. They already are. And that is enough. Chapter 4. Never flaunt your wealth or success. True success is not measured by the things you show, but by the peace you carry. In a world that constantly celebrates outward achievements, the cars, the houses, the flashy vacations, it can feel tempting to want to share your success. To post it, to show it off. After all, you've worked hard for it. You've earned it. But here's the truth. Real wealth isn't about what you have. It's about how you hold it. You've likely heard people say, "Look at what I've built," or "I've made it." But deep down, you know that there's more to it. You know that success is not defined by the things you collect, but by the space you create within yourself. How you carry your wealth, how you carry your success, that is what defines you. Flaunting what you have can steal your peace. When you constantly highlight your accomplishments, you open yourself up to comparisons, envy, and expectations that don't serve you. You make yourself vulnerable to people who may look at your success with resentment, or others who will put you on a pedestal only to watch you fall. What's more, constantly flaunting your achievements often robs you of the experience of truly enjoying them. You stop savoring the moment, the inner satisfaction, and instead start chasing external validation. That's not freedom, that's the trap. The Stoics knew this well. Seneca, a wise Stoic philosopher, believed that wealth should never be the measure of a person's worth. It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, that is poor. He taught that a life well lived is defined by how you use what you have, not how much you have. And the truth is, when you flaunt your success, you're no longer in control of it. It becomes a tool for others to judge you, to measure you against their standards. You deserve to live in your success without needing to prove it. When you stop showing it off, you start living it. Your peace becomes the true indicator of your success. How you feel about your achievements and how they shape your inner world, that's what matters most. The more you embrace that, the more your accomplishments become a source of quiet pride, rather than a loud statement. You've earned what you have, yes, but your wealth, whether it's financial, emotional, or otherwise, does not need to be paraded. You don't need to tell the world every time you succeed. Instead, allow your actions to speak for themselves. Let your character be your currency, your humility, your wealth. The depth of your success is found not in what you display, but in how you show up when no one is watching. Success can be a quiet thing. You don't have to make noise to feel proud. The work you've put in, the sacrifices you've made, let them be your personal triumphs. They don't need the world's applause to validate them. What matters is that you know what you've accomplished and that your heart is at peace with it. True satisfaction comes not from the approval of others, but from your own contentment with the path you've walked. Flaunting success also exposes you to the dangers of pride. When you start sharing your wealth too freely, it becomes a shield you hide behind. You start to measure your worth by how much you have, and that's a dangerous game to play, because at some point there will always be someone with more. But the true measure of wealth is how little you need to feel rich, how satisfied you are with the simple joys, the quiet moments, the things that can't be measured in dollars. Your real success lies in your ability to remain humble, to be proud of your journey, but to know that who you are is not determined by what you own, but by what you give. True wealth is found in how you uplift others with your success, not how you flaunt it. So, protect your peace. Guard your success with silence. Enjoy it without needing anyone else to see it. Share it with those who truly understand the effort behind it, but don't use it as a badge to show the world. Let your success live in your heart, and let your joy be quiet but undeniable. You have earned your place. Now let your success be a quiet strength, not a loud declaration. Let it shape you rather than define you. Keep it close to you and let the peace of your accomplishments become the truest form of wealth you carry. Because in the end, the richest people aren't the ones with the most possessions. They are the ones with the most peace. Chapter 5. Keep your growth journey. Private growth is a personal experience, not a public performance. You are on a journey, one that is uniquely yours. Every step you take, every challenge you face, every breakthrough you experience, they are yours to cherish, reflect upon, and learn from. But in today's world, where everything is shared and discussed, there's a temptation to reveal your growth, to show your progress as a way of proving your worth. But here's the truth. Your growth deserves the space to unfold in silence. The journey you are walking right now, the transformation you're undergoing, is a deeply personal process. It's not for anyone to watch or comment on until you're ready to share it. People may not always understand the nuances of your journey, the setbacks that built your strength, or the inner battles you're fighting, and that's okay. It's not their path to walk. Your growth doesn't need an audience. When you share your progress too early, you invite others to define it. They may not see the whole picture. They may not appreciate the layers of effort behind the change. By keeping your growth journey private, you give yourself the time and space to truly evolve. There's power in quiet progress. The moments of struggle that no one sees, the hours spent in solitude, the silent battles fought in your mind, these are the moments that shape you into someone new, and no one needs to see that but you. It's okay to keep your transformation hidden from the world until you feel strong enough to reveal it. And even then, you don't need to explain it. Your journey is yours to define, not anyone else's. Seneca, one of the great Stoic philosophers, said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." And part of mastering yourself is recognizing that your growth is not dependent on external validation. It's not something to be shared in real time, measured by likes, comments, or applause. True growth happens in the quiet spaces of your life, when no one is watching. It happens in the moments when you decide to keep moving forward, even when the world doesn't see your effort. Growth is like a seed. It needs time to root itself. Imagine you're planting a seed. If you constantly dig it up to check if it's growing, you disrupt its process. Growth needs time. It needs space to quietly develop into something strong, something beautiful, something that can stand on its own. Just like that seed, your growth needs to be nurtured in private before it is ready to be shared with the world. If you expose your journey too soon, you risk damaging the fragile parts of yourself that need time to mature. You are allowed to be a work in progress. You don't owe anyone an explanation about where you are right now. You don't need to announce every step forward, every small victory, or every setback. Allow yourself the grace to grow at your own pace without feeling the need to prove anything to anyone. Your transformation is not a performance for an audience. It is a journey that you are meant to walk in silence until the time comes when you're ready to share it. And when that time comes, your story will be stronger because it was built with intention and strength. Your growth will be authentic, untouched by the expectations or opinions of others. It will be something that reflects who you've become, not who you thought you needed to show the world. In privacy, growth becomes its most powerful form. When you keep your growth journey private, you are not hiding from the world. You are giving yourself the permission to become who you truly are, without distractions. You allow your character to form naturally, in its own time, and when you do decide to share it, it will be because you are ready, not because you feel pressured. True growth is not about the milestones others see. It's about the changes you make on the inside that nobody notices, the small, consistent actions that build the person you are becoming. And when you protect that process, when you keep it private, You allow it to flourish in its own way. Your growth deserves your patience. The next time you feel the urge to share every detail of your journey, take a moment to pause. Ask yourself, am I sharing this to seek validation, or am I sharing this because I'm ready to? Let your growth unfold in silence. Allow it to build its roots in the soil of your soul, where only you can see it. And when the time is right, when you're truly ready to step into the fullness of your transformation, then, and only then, you can share your journey with the world, not for validation, but as a testament to your strength. Your growth is yours alone. Protect it, nurture it, and when you're ready, let it shine. Chapter 6. Don't share your philosophy with the unready. Not everyone is prepared to understand your path. There's a certain power in your personal philosophy. The beliefs, the principles, the way you choose to live your life. These are the internal compasses that guide you, especially in times of challenge and uncertainty. But here's something important to remember. Not everyone is ready to hear it. You've spent time cultivating your philosophy. It's something that has been shaped by your experiences, your struggles, and your moments of clarity. It's yours, unique and deeply personal. But just because it's meaningful to you doesn't mean it will be understood, respected, or even embraced by everyone around you. Sometimes, sharing your philosophy with the unready can do more harm than good. Your philosophy isn't a one-size-fits-all solution. When you share your beliefs with those who aren't prepared for them, it can feel like you're speaking a different language. What resonates with you may seem confusing, harsh, or even irrelevant to someone else. They might not be at a place in their life where they can fully appreciate the value of your perspective. And that's okay. Just like how a plant grows at its own pace, people also arrive at their own truths when they're ready. Some will never embrace your philosophy. Some may, but only after their own journey leads them to it. Your philosophy should never be rushed or forced upon anyone. Protect your philosophy like a treasure. You wouldn't throw a priceless gem in the hands of someone who doesn't understand its worth. And your philosophy, your hard-earned wisdom, is just as valuable. It's a treasure that you've carefully nurtured, and it's not for everyone to hold. Share it only when the moment is right, and when the person you're speaking to is ready to receive it with an open heart. Imagine you're holding a delicate flower. If you offer it too soon, or to someone who isn't open to it, the petals might fall before the flower can bloom. Your philosophy deserves the same careful consideration. Speak only to those who seek. Not everyone is at a place where they are ready to grow. And that's not something you can change. It's not your job to convince anyone of your beliefs, to preach, or to persuade. Your role is to live by your philosophy, embody it through your actions, and wait for the moments when someone who is ready approaches you. The right people will come into your life when they are ready to hear your truths. There is beauty in living authentically without the need for constant validation or approval. When you speak to someone who is ready to hear your philosophy, your words won't fall on deaf ears. They'll be received with understanding, respect, and openness, and that is where real connection happens. Sharing is powerful, but only with intention. When you do share your philosophy, it should come from a place of love, understanding, and a desire to uplift. It should never be used as a weapon or as a means of proving that you are right. Your philosophy is not a tool for argument or superiority. It is a way to show up in the world as your truest self. Let your actions speak louder than your words. If you have someone in your life who is ready to hear your perspective, you'll know. You'll feel it in your heart because the conversation will flow naturally. The exchange will be one of mutual respect, a true meeting of minds. But until that moment comes, trust that it's okay to keep your philosophy to yourself. Your wisdom is a gift, and you don't need to give it away to just anyone. There's strength in knowing when to remain silent. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is to keep your philosophy to yourself. Allow it to guide you quietly without forcing it upon others. By doing so, you not only protect the integrity of your beliefs, but you also preserve your energy. When you speak too freely about your philosophy, you open yourself to criticism or misunderstanding. Instead, focus on living your philosophy fully and authentically. People will see the way you live, the choices you make, and they will be drawn to your example, not because you told them to follow your way, but because your life will speak for itself. Your philosophy is for you and those who are ready to receive it. When you protect your philosophy, you protect your power. You allow it to remain a source of strength for you without it being diluted by the opinions or misunderstandings of others. And when the time is right and when the person is ready, your wisdom will have its moment to shine, not because you forced it, but because they were open to it. In the meantime, trust that your path is leading you to the people who are meant to hear your truth. And when that time comes, you will know, because your philosophy will be shared not as an imposition, but as a beautiful offering, ready to be received in the right time and the right place. Remember, your philosophy is a treasure. Only give it to those who are ready to appreciate its worth. Chapter 7. Keep your family and intimate relationships sacred. Your family and closest relationships are the foundation of your life. They are your refuge in moments of doubt, your source of strength when the world feels heavy. These bonds, built on love, trust, and understanding, are sacred. They are not just another part of your life. They are the parts that shape you, that sustain you, and that give you the courage to continue when everything else feels uncertain. That's why it's so crucial to protect these relationships, to hold them close, and to never allow them to be tainted by the noise of the outside world. You don't have to prove anything to the people who truly matter to you. They've seen your raw, unfiltered self. They are the ones who know you better than anyone else, and they love you despite your flaws, your struggles, and your imperfections. They are not there to judge you, and you are not there to perform for them. This is your sanctuary, the place where you can be completely vulnerable without fear of rejection or misunderstanding. That's why it's important to guard this space, to protect it from the pressures of external influences, and to honor its sanctity. Protect the sacred space of your inner circle. In a world that encourages oversharing, it's easy to forget that not every detail of your life needs to be shared with everyone. The world doesn't need to know every fight you have, every joy you experience, or every triumph you celebrate. The people in your inner circle, your family, your closest friends, are the ones who deserve to be a part of your most intimate moments, and they are the ones who should be trusted with your deepest thoughts. By keeping your family and intimate relationships sacred, you allow them to remain a space where honesty and vulnerability thrive. When you open up to those you trust most, you invite connection in its purest form. But when you allow the outside world to intrude, whether it's through social media, gossip, or the opinions of others, you risk damaging the very thing that has supported you from the beginning. The people who love you deserve your protection as much as you deserve theirs. Your private moments are not for public consumption. Sometimes the world can be overwhelming. It demands your attention, your energy, your life. But it's important to remember that not everything in your life should be shared with the world. The private moments with your loved ones, the quiet dinners, the shared glances, the inside jokes, are what truly matter. They are the glue that holds you together during difficult times. These moments are not for anyone else to witness or judge. They are yours alone. A reflection of the bond that exists between you and the people you care about. By keeping your intimate relationships private, you protect the integrity of those bonds. You allow them to exist on their own terms, free from the scrutiny of the world. This doesn't mean you have to hide your happiness or accomplishments, but rather that you choose who gets to share in those moments with you. Your closest relationships deserve to be shielded from the noise and distractions of the outside world. Trust is the foundation of these relationships. Trust is sacred. Once it's broken, it can take years to rebuild, if it can be rebuilt at all. Your family and intimate relationships thrive on this trust, and sharing too much of your personal life with people who don't deserve it can put that trust at risk. It's important to protect your relationships from anything that might compromise them, whether it's the opinions of others, unnecessary drama, or the temptation to overshare. When you keep your family and intimate relationships sacred, you foster an environment where trust can flourish. These are the relationships that will carry you through life's darkest moments, so it's essential to guard them with everything you've got. Never take them for granted, and never allow them to be overshadowed by the world outside. Protect your boundaries. Having clear boundaries is essential in preserving the sanctity of your family and intimate relationships. It's easy to get caught up in the hustle of life, to let the opinions of others shape how you see your relationships. But your family and close friends deserve your full attention, your undivided care, and your respect. By establishing healthy boundaries, you ensure that these relationships remain pure and strong. Protecting your intimate relationships also means knowing when to step back and protect your space. Not every opinion needs to be heard, not every disagreement needs to be aired, and not every challenge needs to be shared with the outside world. Your relationships thrive when they are allowed to exist in their own private space, free from outside interference. Honor the value of privacy. Privacy is not about hiding your life from the world. It's about understanding what's worth protecting. Your most precious moments, the ones that define you, should not be up for grabs by anyone but those you trust. The people in your life who matter most deserve to be the ones who share in your personal journey. Give them that honor by keeping your most meaningful moments private. By doing so, you're not just protecting your family and intimate relationships, you're also preserving your own peace of mind. You don't need to explain every aspect of your life to the world in order to be validated. Your relationships are enough. They are the source of your strength and your happiness, and you don't need anyone else's approval to know that. Guard your inner circle with care and respect. The people closest to you are your heart's home. Treat them with the respect they deserve. Never take them for granted, and always make sure that the space between you remains untainted by the distractions of the outside world. By keeping your family and intimate relationships sacred, you ensure that they remain a source of constant strength, love, and support for you. Remember, your true power lies in these intimate connections. Protect them, nurture them, and honor them. They are worth more than any external validation, any fleeting moment of attention. Your family and closest relationships are your foundation. Never let anything take that from you. Chapter 8. Never reveal the depth of your fears. Fear is a deeply personal experience. It's the part of you that no one else can truly see or understand. Your fears are the silent battles you fight within, and not everyone deserves to witness their intensity. You might fear failure, rejection, or loss. You might fear not being good enough or not living up to the expectations you've set for yourself. These fears, though natural, are incredibly intimate. They are part of the essence of who you are, and the more you reveal them to the world, the more vulnerable you become. In a world that often demands answers, validation, and the sharing of every part of your life, it can feel like you're expected to expose every emotion, every concern. But some things are meant to be kept private. Your deepest fears should remain guarded, not because they are weaknesses, but because they are your personal struggles. And you have the power to face them on your own terms. Facing your fears is your own journey. When you share the depth of your fears with others, it's easy for them to become part of your narrative in ways you can't control. Your vulnerability can be misunderstood, judged, or misused by others. While sharing fears can sometimes bring relief, it can also open the door to opinions and advice that might not be helpful and might even make your fears grow in strength. No one can fight your inner battles for you. Only you can confront your fears head-on, and it's within those moments of solitude and reflection that you find the true strength to overcome them. What others see of you is not your fear, it's your resilience. It's your ability to rise above the discomfort and keep moving forward, even when your heart feels heavy. Your fears don't define you, but your response to them does. Protect the depths of your fear, because only by doing so can you retain the power to transform them into something that serves you, rather than weakening you. Not everyone needs to see your struggles. There are certain parts of your inner world that are sacred. They should not be exposed for the sake of sympathy, attention, or validation. Your struggles with fear don't need to be broadcast for others to understand your worth. You are more than the sum of your fears. What people see of you should not be an incomplete reflection of your true self. The beauty of facing fear is in the quiet moments when it's just you, confronting it, learning from it, and growing stronger because of it. By keeping the depth of your fears private, you allow yourself the space to heal, to understand them, and ultimately to release their hold over you. Your strength lies in your silence. Sometimes the greatest power is found in what you don't say, what you don't show. By keeping the depth of your fears to yourself, you maintain the mystery and the strength that comes from facing your struggles in solitude. You don't have to explain why you're afraid or what you're afraid of. Not everyone needs to know what keeps you up at night or what causes your heart to race. What matters most is how you choose to deal with your fears and how you let them fuel your growth rather than holding you back. Fear has the potential to shape you in ways you might not expect. When you face it quietly, without the need for external validation, you build resilience in a way that can't be taken from you. It becomes a quiet strength that guides you through your journey, without the need for anyone else to understand it. The depth of your fear is for you alone to navigate. Guard the power within you. The more you reveal the depths of your fears, the more you allow others to see you in a way that's incomplete. You may seek understanding or comfort, but sometimes in seeking this from others, you allow them to shape your narrative. You are the one who defines how your fears impact you, not anyone else. Your fears, while real, are not permanent. They are not the final word on your potential. By holding them close, you maintain the power to decide how to overcome them. Remember, fear is not something to be ashamed of. It's a natural part of life, but how you face it, how you protect it, and how you grow from it is what defines you. Your journey through fear should be your own, and it's in the silence and solitude that you find the true strength to overcome it. Trust yourself to face your fears. No one knows your fears like you do. They are deeply ingrained within you, and it's your power to transform them into something that works for you. You don't need to reveal everything to the world to be understood. The truth is that your courage lies in your ability to face those fears without seeking validation. Your fear doesn't diminish your worth. It can only add to the strength and resilience that you already possess. So, keep the depth of your fears to yourself. Let them be the quiet force that drives you, not the loud narrative that others try to define for you. Your journey is yours to take, and in the quiet moments, that's where you find the true power to evolve beyond them. Conclusion. As you reflect on these 8 principles, remember this: your life, your journey is sacred. The moments of strength, vulnerability, and growth are yours to own, and how you choose to protect and share parts of your life defines the way you move forward. Discretion, silence, and intentionality are not signs of weakness, but powerful tools to preserve your inner peace, autonomy, and authenticity. When you honor these boundaries, you create the space necessary to truly grow, unshaken by external noise or the expectations of others. Now, as you stand at the crossroads of self-awareness and self-discovery, ask yourself, which parts of your life are you ready to protect, to keep sacred? What will you hold close in your heart, guarding it with care until you are ready to share it in your own time and on your own terms? This journey is yours alone. Only you know the depth of your fears, the strength of your dreams, and the authenticity of your emotions. Let these 8 principles guide you as you move forward quietly and powerfully into the life you're meant to lead. You have the strength within you to live authentically, to protect your peace, and to embrace the power of discretion. If this message resonated with you, I encourage you to take action. Share your thoughts in the comments below. What is one part of your life that you've decided to protect moving forward? Don't forget to like this video if you found value in these principles, and make sure to subscribe to the Stoic Secrets channel for more insights that will help you live a life of purpose, resilience, and inner strength. You are the author of your own story, and now is the time to write it with intention. Until next time, stay strong, stay true, and keep guarding your peace.